So this is the wife's car. It's a 2010 Mazda Speed 3. We've had it since about 2015. It has about 153,000 miles on it. But, I mean, it's still running strong, still pulling strong. Not much done to it. You can see that it's been sun damaged, but we'll be fixing that soon. A couple modifications, nothing big really. So this is the engine bay. Excuse all the dust. This car really doesn't get driven along too much anymore. We usually use my FJ Cruiser, but hopefully, now that we have a little bit of free time and whatnot, it'll be upgraded a little better. That's actually the motor mount we're going to be replacing. As you can see, all that black stuff is actually the hydraulic fluid or whatever it is that's inside of the actual bushing. And that's what always fails, and it always makes the engine bay look so disgusting. But yeah, we'll get it sorted out. Let's get some tools and get the new one installed. We're gonna go underneath the car, and we're gonna support the oil pan with your jack and the block of wood that you use, so that you don't harm or dent or scratch the oil pan. We just need it there to hold it up while you're changing the motor mount. Alright, so first things first, let's get the overflow tank out of the way. And it looks like we just pull up on it. And so we're actually not going to remove it, we're just going to move it to the side to get access to the motor mount. And so that's what it looks like after it explodes. All that black color, that rusty looking color right there, that's all from the busted motor mount. Once you have the coolant reservoir taken off and you have access to the motor mount, you're going to need to be taking out the 4 17mm nuts and bolts. That one there, and then these two up here, which connect to your engine. Make sure you double check that you actually have something holding your engine up. That way it doesn't fall on you when you remove the bolts. We just pop it right off. It should come out no problem. And there it is in all of its dead, exploded glory. Alright, so now is when we put the motor mount back together. So we'll take the bushing with the 2 bolts and nuts. They go right in perfectly. actually going to keep them loose for now, just to make sure that everything lines up properly on the car. And you take your engine mount piece. Put your bolt through it. And that is pretty much what it should look like. Once it's on the car, we'll tighten it up, make sure everything lines up properly, and yeah, that's all there is to it. There's a comparison of the old crusty one. You can see where the engine was pulling its forces on it, and it's actually cracked all the way around there. Again, that's the black gunk that comes out of it. And this is our shiny new one. Nice and shiny. This one isn't going to explode because the bushing is made out of polyurethane, so it should hold up pretty well. And if anything, we can always replace this, I'm guessing. So yeah, let's get it installed in the car. Okay, so I actually almost forgot the all threads that come included with the kits. I'm guessing that you're supposed to remove the stock ones, the stock studs. Mine just so happened to twist off, I guess. Like, I swear, like I didn't put a tool to this. I didn't do anything to it. It just so happened to come off by hand. Like I moved it around and there it goes. I guess that's what we get for living in California. Like, shit doesn't rust. There it is. Now the new ones actually come with Allen holes in it. Makes it easier to install. So we'll just lower those down by hand, as far as it'll go by hand, and then we'll get some Allen keys on there to tighten them up. Alright, let's get some Allen keys on there. Alright, so this is actually a 6mm Allen key. Goes right on. Start twisting away. Man, this line is in the way. You know what? I might have a ratchet type. Let's try this one again with the screwdriver type. That way we can actually get in there. Oh my goodness, this line is going to be in the way. Alright, that's as far as they went. Yep, that's as tight as it's going to go. So, now that we have those in, let's clean this up a little bit. It looks a little disgusting after that explosion. But, yeah, like I said, like all that gunk is from the hydraulic stuff. So if you ever see your engine covered in any of this rusty looking thing, that means your stock motor mount went out. So I suggest you change it out for the damaged ones. Okay, so now that you clean it out and get as much of that gunk off, it's really hard to get it off of some surfaces because it'll actually stain them. Like it stained the paint. I can't get that off. I was scrubbing for a good while. Like also that's the foam for the AC line that I couldn't get that crap off of. So if you can, before yours blows out, you should get an aftermarket one. If not, and you wait until it blows up, then you pretty much stain everything, like everything. It is crazy. Alright, so an issue that I ran into was it wasn't sitting flush because this ground is actually in the way. I guess the stock one is lifted, so it has this lift here that clears it. So now that we're getting rid of that lift, since the damaged one is flat, we gotta move the we gotta move that ground. Now we gotta find this guy a new home. So let's clean that little area up and we'll sit the motor mount again. Alright, so we cleared up the area where the motor mount was gonna sit. Gonna have to find a place for that ground that was there. It ran from that little stud to that 10mm hole there. But put a new motor mount in, and it looks like it fits perfectly. Like I said, everything's loosened up. We'll get everything ready, get all our bolts in and nuts, and then once it's good to go, then we'll tighten it up, take it for a spin. Now that is what I call engine bay bling. Look how good that thing looks, man. Ignore the rest of my engine bay. I know it's a little dusty. Like I said, the car doesn't really get driven a lot, so it's just hanging out most of the time, and at the time that it does get driven, it's maybe like 5-10 miles both ways. So I actually apologize because I have to do a voiceover. The wind got a little too strong and it was being picked up by my microphone, but all I'm trying to show you here is how nice the motor mount looks behind everything after it's installed. And then here I'm explaining pretty much the damaged motorsport short shift kit, and how we're going to have to remove the intake, or at least the filter and the AFM, to get down to where we need to go. I don't think you have to do it, but it's just easier if you do. We'll start by unplugging the mass airflow sensor. Just push the tab down, pull it, move it out of the way, and flathead screwdriver, loosen up the intake clamp. So here you remove the two 12mm bolts to get the weight off. And also you're going to need to remove the shift cable by prying on it. Okay, so I accidentally did it off camera trying to figure out what to do. And so what you're supposed to do is get a 13mm or anything that you can get under here, and all you do is once it slides in a little bit, you push down. Whoops. So as I was saying, you pry on it and it should pop right off. You then slide the shift plate on the pivot like so, and then you align the holes to where the weight was. And that's all you have to do. It's that easy. You reattach the shift cable onto the new pivot and it should pipe right on. You should hear it snap on. It doesn't take a lot of force. Once you have everything in place, you have your weight on there and you put some Loctite on your new bolts. All you got to do is tighten up the and the weight is actually what's going to hold the whole mechanism together now. Alright guys, so now that everything is installed, we'll take it for a spin. Let's start it up and see what it sounds like. See if we notice any cabin noises. I will apologize first for the air. There's really nothing I can do, and also for the mess that my wife has in her car. But here goes. First startup after motor mount install. Let's look outside. We'll let it warm up for a while and then we'll get it going. So, like I said earlier, this car, we've had it for about 5 or 6 years now. We got it in 2015. It's a 2010 with the technology package.
By 9, they'll drop it.
I don't know. I kind of felt bad because we really stopped taking care of the car because I guess I just fell out of love with it. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's fast, it zooms around, you know, listening to the turbo spool is amazing. And then we have BC Racing coilovers on it, so the ride is pretty stiff. And I think that's probably another reason why we didn't really care much for it. So we just let it, you know, we left it outside, we never covered it. The windshield's cracked, the check engine light's on, but the check engine light's on because of the, I guess the thermostat is opening up either too early or too late, but I'm actually going to be getting a new thermostat, new hoses, and we're gonna bring this little car back to life. As for the future of this car, I'm not sure what we're gonna do with it. I know the wife wants to maybe get something else, maybe a diesel truck, because we do have the Drift Z there, the Mustang there, and then we also have the Corolla, which is currently at my brother's house. So this car, I'm not sure. I mean, you know, I'd like to fix it up, maybe, you know, get all this stuff fixed, get the windshield fixed, and if we have to sell it, then at least the next buyer is going to get something decent, you know. The interior is still in pretty great shape. We got a couple of wear marks or whatever, but other than that, it's really good. For sure, I'm going to be getting a new steering wheel, whether it's a stock one or one of the aftermarket ones from Cork Sport, just because we want to keep all these buttons and whatnot. But all right, let's see. Let's take it for a test drive. Okay, so already right off the bat, I can actually feel, holy shit, a difference in the shifting. It feels tighter. It does feel shorter. By how much, I can't tell you really, but yeah, I can definitely feel it's a lot tighter. I don't know what she'll think. Maybe she'll like it.